Alright, this is the last video that I want to spend pretty much my last breath on Shockrypter. They've managed to do a decent job of confusing the thread and maybe throwing a couple of the beginners off track. Hopefully my point of this video is that I get it out there so that someone that is also fairly advanced will be able to confirm, yeah, this guy knows what he's talking about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys one of the stubs in Simple Assembly Explorer. We're going to look at a little bit of the IL code, and I'm going to show you exactly where he enters in his server in the stub. Okay, it's very, very, very obvious to anyone that has even a simple grasp of how to use Simple Assembly Explorer, this program right here. Okay, so here's one of his stubs that he has. It's a Shock Service 1, the same one I've been using this whole time. I'm going to drop this in here. It opened up in my other window. You can see at the top it still says bonus stubs. These both directories match, so it's the same one. I'm going to look under NSO1. We're going to go straight to Form 1 because we want to know what exactly the stub loads, what's its whole procedure. I want to know everything that it does. Form 1, and it's under Form 1 load object events arg void right here. Okay, so click that. Have the IL code at the side. As you notice, there's a lot of ldstrs in here. Okay, you can see them all here, and there's one here, there's one here. A lot of them open up some of his strings. You see the function one fuck, you see the u, you see pegoons, which is one of his methods or functions. You see another one here. There's lots of ldstrs. So it's loading a lot of objects, or it's calling for a lot of things to push into the stack, which is a little unusual if you would know anything about programming. It's a little unusual for just a stub. It should probably be calling the function for the run p, and then maybe some decompiling and some compiling, depending on if it's using codom or something like that. It might have a couple callings. But here's where it gets interesting. The very first things that it does is it loads this pegoons, and then it goes into codom, it compiles it, and then it's changing the bytes, pushing the bytes into the stack. It asks for function 1, fuck you. I had said before that I believe his virus was stored within the function 1, or the fuck you, but upon looking at this, it seems perhaps that the function 1 actually is the legit run p, because this pegoons, when I was looking through the code for the actual crypter, it seems that this is your server that you put into the box and that you save in the crypter. So this whole first chunk looks like it's compiling and adding functions and run ps for your server. Okay, but as we go down, and I'm going to scroll down just a little bit here, and we get to this really, really interesting part. It calls for a serve.exe. And that's just one letter away from server.exe. But it calls for a serve.exe. Now, I won't be able to really necessarily see what a serve.exe is in the actual code, because the parts here that where it calls serve, those were decrypted. And only it knows how to look for serve in that encrypted code. So unless I want to decompile and decrypt the actual assembly resources within his stub, unless I want to decompile that and decrypt it, I won't really get to look at the exact part that is serve.exe, but I'll get to know that he's calling it. And this is really unusual because he's calling an executable within the assembly, and this is a blank stub. Your server's not attached yet, and it's actually trying to add in its own executable into it. But I'm going to show you that. So it goes serve.exe, and then if we go just a little bit more down, it actually adds a registry key for it in the startup run. It goes software, Microsoft, Windows, current version run, and if anyone knows, that's the startup feature in Windows for the registry. And it adds that server.exe into it. And now it's using another object here called serve no dot, just a plain serve. I'm not exactly I'm not obviously an expert at IL code. I'm very good at it. I know this is very obvious. I know what it's doing, but I don't necessarily know what all of these strings are because, like I said, I can't decrypt his actual stubs. The part where he keeps the virus, I know he can call the virus out of the stub, but you have to decrypt that part to be able to see exactly what it is. But basically this whole section, before it goes leave S at the very bottom, this whole section is where he adds in his own his own program into the code and then adds the registry key for it and then closes it. All right, this is the end of the video. If you guys want the stub, I can send it to you. You can throw it in your own Assembly Explorer. If you guys, if there's any advanced users out there that have that Shockrypter already, can you please just run it through Simple Assembly Explorer and then give your opinion on it? It's clearly obvious. I mean, I could send people the stubs for them to look at, but, you know, they could always say that I'm sending people fake stubs and they're not the real stubs, and they'll just confuse people more. So if you have this program already, you can easily throw one of his stubs into this program, Simple Assembly Explorer. It's free, and you will see exactly what he's pushing to the stack. It's very, very simple to go through this, and remember, it's under the Form 1 load object events args, and that's pretty much it, guys. Very simple video. All right.